Alright, this is my first real time doing this, but I figured I'd give it a go. uh, I wanted to go through basically every single Lawl tier list here. There's like so many here. Obviously, there's like so many, and I thought, I have a lot of opinions on a lot of these, so I thought it'd be cool to do this. And we're gonna start with Lawl original. This is like the original, obviously. Like, there's so many like good characters here. I love this roster so much. Like, and I want to take a moment, obviously, to like talk about each Law in general. What I feel like it's kind of done for the community as a whole. And I mean, like, we already know like why Law original is like so important. Law original is the reason why all of this exists. Like, it started it basically, and Chin kind of like his ideas like kind of went off the wall sometimes, but they are the reason why we have more of those weird ideas. Like, we have like so many creative people in this community, and it's to thank for like all these weird picks. Like, if this first roster was just like YouTube poop characters, I don't think it would have been as popular as like it could have been. Like, we have such like a unique like selection of characters. You got like movie characters, you got YouTube characters, not just YouTube poop characters, but like you got Nostalgia Critic, you got AVGN, and other people and stuff. So this is like a good roster. That being said, this is also like the first of its kind, and all due respect to Chin, the balance is all over the place. Some characters are definitely a lot weirder than others, and it does like kind of feel like sometimes like I think Chin wasn't really sure what to do with some of these characters, and they don't really have as like good of identity in places. But I'll talk about that. And we'll just start with the first two, Ayamine and the King. Ayamine's fucking amazing. Like, Subspace, I think, did a lot for Ayamine and the King. They have like, Chin really had fun animating these two characters, even with like the limited animation skills he had. Like, Ayamine has so much personality in his attacks. It's kind of nuts what little he did. How he didn't have to do that much to give him like all this flair. He has like the boom up throw. He has like the funny jab, the book slam, the spin. Like, all this stuff is just so good. His aerials are like so nice. I think the only thing people still talk about they don't really like about the Ayamine moveset is he has two teleports, like the boom port and the electrical teleport. That's like the weirdest thing about it. But I mean, like, what were you gonna? It's very clear there really wasn't much you could do with Ayamine. Like, I do wish like if any character had to appear more and have his attacks. Like, if I wanted like a modern normal showcase, Ayamine would definitely be up there. I want to see a lot of those attacks remastered so badly. They're really good. But yeah, give me 1 second. There we go. All right. But yeah, like, I think I would put Ayamine like up in so good. Like, I don't think he's. I'm only going to put someone in like the faves here. If there's like someone in that Law I would main specifically, and Ayamine is like, he's a speedster. Like, he's cool. I'm not a speedster guy, but I would definitely play this character. I would play him in an actual game. I love this character so much. He's so nice. But the King also, like, I'm just going to put him up here as well. The King is like so good, and Chin still uses the King in like a lot of the modern stuff too. Like, he just did one of the Spirit showcases recently with Tommy Wiseau and Nostalgia Critic. He showed a little bit of the King's like revamped attacks with throws that we haven't really actually even seen before. Like, God, like, this character is so cool. Like, it makes me wish Chin used these characters more in his other content, because what he can animate with these two is insane. Like, he had so much personality, these two characters. Now, the one that has gotten a little bit more spotlight, for maybe good and bad reasons, is Nostalgia Critic. I I like Nostalgia Critic. I think Nostalgia Critic, he's one of the few characters that were added to the Lawl game that made by Dimic Studios. And he's really good there. I actually really like Critic. I think it's clear though that, like, how do I say this? Critic sprites definitely, and it's not just his sprites, but his moveset in general. Like, this is a very early 2000s YouTube version of Critic. He doesn't have a lot of the newer stuff that you would expect a Critic to have. And some moves are just a little bit weird, like the neutral B. I feel like at this point, like you could probably change it to just be more of a general, like, rapid gun thing, and not like the Hitler thing. It's a little bit specific of a reference. I think the Critic could use, like, touching up on that. And then some of his sprites are a little wonky, like his run sprite. You could definitely revamp this character a bit sprite wise, and he would be amazing. But all of his attacks are still good. Have you seen in the Law game? Like, he's great. I think he's maybe he's so good. I think he's definitely, like, so core to, like, the original 3. I would still rank him very highly. I'll put him, like, in, because there's, like, another character that I think does deserve to be up here with the greats. Doug's is a little bit more outdated than these two. Oh my god. This makes me sad. I love Leonidas so much in Law Original. But Chin, like, he's one of those characters that has, like, such cool animation. Like, how Chin interpreted I can't speak. How he does his smash attacks, and they have, like, the lingering slow-mo. Like, I love that. It gives him such a unique style that a lot of the characters in this roster don't have that are live action. It makes him distinct. And he's also, like, he's like, obviously also a YouTube poop character, but he doesn't feel like the other YouTube poop characters that use a lot of, like, jokes and stuff, like the King. He feels like he's just a guy. And in some ways, that makes him really bad. He is, I don't know, you probably, like, heard bits and pieces here across the community, maybe. But Leonidas is not a good character at all. Like, he is so bad. It is not even a contest. He's so bad in this roster and of bullshit. He's just, like, too simple. And his side B, you can literally just take it from him and use it for yourself. He's a little bit slow. Like, it makes me sad that Chin doesn't do more with him now, because I would like to see him get more updates. It's complicated, Taka. Like, I love this character. He's going in, like, if I played a character in Law Original, it would be Leonidas. Like, he might not be good in this roster specifically, but he's still my boy. Damn it, I love this guy. I grew up with Sparta Remix content. It was like a Sparta Remix content, and Harry Potter Puppet Pals was, like, the two forms of content I first saw when I got on YouTube. So he has a special place in my heart, and I will never, like, not meet him. Now, Tommy. Tommy is so cool. He is, like, I think I'll go as far as to say he might be the best character in anything Chin has made, period. Like, Tommy is, like, he gets so much love from Chin, and just in personality and how he animates and how he's treated. Like, he gets so much respect. And all of his moves are, like, they seem pretty general. Like, I throw football, I throw water bottle, I don't touch me, motherfucker. And, like, I record everything. Like, it's a goofy moveset, but it works so perfectly. Like, this character just works. And once you look at Subspace and you see all the goofy moves he has there, and how he has the Yoshi flutter jump where he goes cheep 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 cheep, it's, like, adorable. Like, this was a character the Chin had so many ideas and love for it. I respect it so much. Like, it makes me glad that Chin uses him so much in other stuff, like the Frollo show and things. I love this character. It makes me wish we got another Star Room, because I want to see Chin do more with this character. But this is Law. Like, this is Law. And he gets a lot of love here, too. Madatsuki. This is, like, Madatsuki basically started. I mean, maybe not just Madatsuki. Maybe it was, like, Yomika. But Madatsuki really started the trend of, like, when people did Lawls, they would often grab, like, a RPG Maker character. As always, it was, like, key. It was, like, the RPG Maker girls. Because, like, they were just using the idea of, like, characters attacking with things from their games. And the simple sprite aesthetic made it very simple and easy to get into. And she was not a traditional YouTube poop character, so that branched out a lot. That gave everyone a lot more, like, to work with. It wasn't just YouTube poop. There were other things you could do. And Mado's pretty good. Like, in the Law game, you've probably seen that. She's a little plain, honestly, for my taste. I think she's... Maybe it's just because, like, there's so many other characters now. She feels very boring. Like, I even think, like, Yomika is more interesting than her. But, like, she's just a little weird. Like, she has the down B, I think, that makes her fat. And it gives her a different moveset. It's like, whatever. I guess it's very weird. I don't know. I'm not really a biggest fan. Like, she's neat. Like, she's not bad. Like, there's definitely, like, oh, God. Putting them two together is a little bit funny if you know about Subspace. But, like, this is, like, she's still good. I respect the hell out of her. Also, here we go. This is an interesting one to talk about. AVGN. AVGN is so weird. How do I go into this? So, like, AVGN has a weird history because he's like got one of the, I think another person said that I think it was Cheesy Bastard, said that AVGN has a really good moveset, like, competitively, when you look at him. And he's pretty good. He's not bad. Like, I think he got hurt, though, over time, because, like, he started not really getting as much attention. And I feel like he's a character I would like to see more, like, normal attacks for. And then we were all really excited when Subspace was coming back. Like, oh, we'll get AVGN normals. We'll get them to attack and animate well and stuff. And then everything happened with Subspace. And that kind of soured people. Like, Chin skipped the Subspace combat, so we couldn't see more AVGN normals. I don't think he even looked that good at the time. It was kind of disappointing, and it kind of hampered people's enjoyment. But then, like, Chin did the new Idol revamp actually recently. I don't know if you've seen it in the recent Wars Neutral B showcase. AVGN has a really good new, I think it's a run spray and an idle spray. He looks so good. Like, that, like, I remember, like, that's what we needed. We need to see the AVGN, like, animating real good like that again. And it gives me hope that we might see him again soon, but I don't know. We'll see. But I think he's neat too. Like, I'm not an AVGN person. I'm gonna be real. I don't have as big of a stake in this race as many other people do, but I think he's fine. Now, this character, I think it's funny that Mama Luigi technically came after AVGN. They were next to each other on the list. And there was a contest for them both to get more spotlight on the channel, and Mama Luigi won. And Chin was very surprised by that, which I think is also surprising. I mean, everyone loves AVGN, but I think, like, after seeing, he has a little bit of a struggle animating live action characters sometimes, and Mama Luigi just has so much more material to work with in terms of memes. And I think people obviously want to see more of it. Also, Mama Luigi is so freaking funny. I think, like, he's a little simple, and he's clearly not, like, meant to be the greatest in terms of a competitive character. But I still like him. I still like him a lot. Like, this character is so good. He's a goober. Like, we need goofy YouTube characters a lot, and I think it's important that we get those. But Moveset-wise, he's funny. Like, I don't think. Like, he's simple. I mean, actually, no. I think I'm gonna put him in. Nah, I don't know. Like, this guy, he has, like, the funny sleep. He has, like, it's a football. You know what? Yeah, I remember the football. Like, seeing that the target test showcase really did a lot to making him look better. in motion, giving him all the normal scenarios, and show like how this character would look if you actually played him. And yeah, like Amon Luigi looks great. I think he's definitely earned his spot over AVGN at this point, and I hope we do get to see more of him in the future. Oh, Chin follows up on that. Oh, you're this character. Oh boy, Dr. Robonik. This is one that everyone has been wanting for a while. I think even Chin has, wanted this for a lot longer. Because, like, there was when the Facebook stuff for Lawl was still up. Robonik, I think, made it to the final 4 of a big contest to get a classic mode, which still hasn't happened yet, obviously. Robonik and Tommy were up there along with Aya and Ebe, I think. I believe it was them. And Robonik, he wanted to leave Robonik open, like Tommy got wiped out, obviously. But Robonik, he's like, oh, I'll do like a remastered moveset for Robonik. So even back then, I think he knew he wanted to redo this character. Because Robonik doesn't really have, like... Originally, he had a move from Sonic Adventure, and then like a made-up move from Subspace, and then the dash. Like, it was a thing, alright. But even then, I think, like, Robonik was still pretty good. Like, he wasn't like accurate per se, but he had the spirit at the same time. But there was definitely room for improvement. And then in Subspace, he had that amazing jab. Like, I don't know if you've seen the fight with Iamine and Robonik in the Subspace, you would know that Robonik, even though he didn't really have the best specials, his normals were so good. I need to give respect to Chin for like how good that jab was. Like, I think Chin said he was going to keep that jab in the new moveset, which is good. And he's also since gotten a moveset remake. Well, we got a taste of it in a target test showcase, but we haven't gotten a full video going over how the moveset works. And it looks a little complicated. I'm going to be real. I'm a little bit worried that it might be follow the Chin trend of being too complicated. But I have hopes. I think the one thing people just want is like let him ride in the thing and then get off it to do other stuff. I think he'll still do that. I just hope, he's not too crazy. But yeah, I think I'm gonna put him in. He's neat. He's cool. He's Robonik. He's not really. You can't go wrong with Robonik. Of course. Okay, you know what? I just realized we need to make a new tier for this. We need to make a special tier. Best. Boars is great. Boars is one of the best characters I think Chin has ever made, and he's shown because like Chin continues to use him, and he's such a good idea of a joke character, and he's just so bad, making him curvy and plagiarize to take other people's moves, but they're worse. And now like Chin, everyone's like, oh, like Boars is back. You gotta like give him a good moveset now. No, he just doubled down on the joke. Give him a stamina wheel. Like, yes, this character is so perfect. I hope Chin never makes him like a legitimate character. I hope he keeps the joke going. I think that's what Boars' identity is at this point. I think it should stay that way. It's good. That being said, when they did do the Boars showcase of all the Neutral Beasts he did copy, I think it did make me want to see like a legitimate Boars. Like you could definitely like try and use him. I feel like if there was an actual game, he would probably be barely usable. It would be hard. But he's like the good kind of character. Like you want to actually try and use. It would be difficult, but it would feel rewarding to goof around with him. And I don't think Chin will need to do that, but it would be cool maybe someday. If we got a peek of just more Neutral B showcases with him at the very least. Alright. We got Frollo. Alright, I'm just gonna like put it up here. Like the Lawl game basically made Frollo amazing. Frollo in the Lawl game is such a perfect character every single way. It's also basically just Chin's mascot at this point. Frollo is awesome. I'm awesome, as he would say. But yeah, I don't really need to go into depth on why he needs to be up here. Gaston, though. Okay, I'm just gonna say this real quick. I love Gaston a lot. I think he's probably one of my favorite YouTube poop characters. And I just recently was talking with a bunch of other Law community members about Gaston's moveset in general. And how he's good, but it feels like some of his special moves are a little bit weirdly placed. Like, Flammabeer and the dozen egg things, like, you could probably take away one of those moves. And Chin, if you're listening to this right now, one of the things we thought about was, like, if you could, it would be really funny, because obviously, like, you haven't done another assist showcase. If you replace the egg move with summoning LeFou, and, like, because I feel like that's the one thing I think Gaston's moveset is missing, is LeFou. Like Frollo summons his guard, the king summons his guys, and other characters usually have some sort of summon with them. But I think it would be funny if Gaston's, like, down me summoned, like, LeFou, and he could hit him around like a punching bag and knock in other enemies, but also LeFou could take hits for him. Like, I would love that so much. I think, like, that would be so perfect. And I think just turning LeFou into an assist would be missing out on, like, some fun comedy potential, because Gaston's whole thing is, like, he's good by himself, but I think, like, the comedy with LeFou was also, like, such a big part of, like, YouTube Poops and himself that it would be you'd miss a lot not having him there. But, like, even then, like, I think he's neat. I think he's so close to perfection for me that I wouldn't mind if he didn't get LeFou. Like, the few normals we've seen as well in Subspace are all pretty funny. So I wouldn't mind if we got to see more of them at some point. I hope we do. Oh boy. Downfall Hitler. I was talking with other community members about this character recently. It feels like Chin wants to double down more. Like, originally he was just like Hitler. He was just, that's all he was on, like, on YouTube, the YouTube playlist. But now he's kind of transitioned to calling him Downfall Hitler and Dolphy. And I think, like, as we've kind of moved forward more with, like, the YouTube poop angle and, like, the Downfall parodies, I think leaning more into the Downfall parodies in his moveset would definitely benefit him a lot. Like, he just has, like, that side B, which is him just bringing a guy out to shoot somebody. And someone, like, made a point that, like, oh yeah, like, that's kind of the thing what happens. Like, someone disagrees with them, he gets someone to just, like, go and they die. But I don't know. I feel like there's still, like, room. Like, I mean, his like, back throw, if you've seen it, is really funny. Or, like, he just walks forward and runs back around and just kicks you. Is so good. Like, I would like more Downfall Hitler a lot. I hope the map room gets used more as, like, a stage in videos. I love that stage. It's well designed. It looks so nice. Even has the parodies in the background. I think it's such a good stage for the character. It's way better than the old one. Penny and Stocking. So I had to, like, research their show a little bit for a certain project I'm working on, and I still don't really feel very passionate about these characters. I'm sorry. Like, I know this is Chin's baby. Like, he loves this show a lot, clearly. But I definitely don't think it's, like, my thing at all. Which is, like, sad to say, because I think they're really cool. I think Stalking has a great moveset, especially. But I don't know, like, I feel like there's also room for them to improve in the future. I know, like, Pansy has that really weird up B where she just runs off a pole, and it's not really much of a recovery, which it makes sense. Like, Stalking feels like she's meant to be more the recovery character. But I don't know. I feel like maybe whenever, like, the season 2 comes out for their show, they might have more material to work with. But, you know, I respect, like, how much attention they get, and I won't ever feel bad about it. Plus, also, like, these characters, you know, I completely forgot the main mechanic they're known for. They brought in the hordiness mechanic, which is, you know, one of the first generally, like, Lawl specific mechanics. It's pretty funny. I think it's a good way to differentiate Lawl from Smash Bros. And, like, having, like, some unique systems and stuff. And then I think it works better with them than compared to a certain other character we'll get into. But and recently, it's also been kind of renamed to Attraction by Shybat88 because it has some weird connotations depending on like what characters are also on your roster. So getting rid of like the horniness, calling it Attraction, just works a little bit better universally. But yeah, they're personally not my thing. But just because they're like, maybe I'll put it up here. I don't know. We'll see. Because not my thing doesn't mean they're bad. It's just like not my thing. Then Billy Mays. Okay, I know I like this moveset a lot. Just like the fact that his intro is like him descending from heaven to kick your ass is so funny. And I know a lot of the lines from the moveset by heart. I joke with my friends all the time. They always get surprised that I know so much about like know the jokes word by word. It's because of this moveset. Like the Billy Mays moveset is the reason why I still remember this guy. That's like obviously all the YouTube poops. I do think he's got a lot of funny animations as well. And I think Chin tried like changing his idol at one point, and then he reversed it back because the old one was just so much better. And I'm glad because I like the idea that he's selling your items during a fight. Or like advertising them. Also, like the impact chill, like that bit always made me laugh. I love it when they do when Chin does like the funny sentence mixing gags. Also, God, this character. So Amato was the start, but then Yomika happened. So if you don't know, Chin is very passionate about Yomika and her source, Yumi Graffiti, I think, and it's universally, I don't think it's very considered very popular among Yuminiki fan games, but Chin really loves it for some reason. And oh my gosh, Yumiko is like, before the Law game, she was considered to be fucking broken as hell. This was like the point where people realized that Chin, this was for fun, obviously. This was like it was not meant to be competitively like inclined. It's just for fun. It was where everyone's having a goof. The second you start looking at it competitively, you found Yumika, and she was nuts. She was disgusting. It was so bad. It was so bad. There's like a funny tier list out there that I think is lost media at this point. You probably see it in the Demic Studios Law game videos. Yumika was the best, period. And she got nerfed super hard. And after getting nerfed, like, I actually think Yumika is probably like my favorite character in the Law game. Like, personally, I like how she plays. I think she's nice. I can see why, she's still not very popular, but I think, like, she's cool. I think she's neat. I like the hair gimmick. I like all her abilities way more than I like Mato's, personally. I just feel like there's more there. Alright, here we go. This is where it kind of starts getting a little bit negative, and I apologize. I don't like Guile, personally. I know this is a big hot take. Maybe. I think Guile is like hot garbage. I mean, like, not even just like as a moveset, but like if you've heard, like, you've probably known that people think that Guile is like the worst character in the Law original that isn't a joke character. Like, he is just bad. Like, he just doesn't function. But I also just don't think he's very interesting. I don't know what it is. Like, it just like. It feels like he has to be here because Bison is here, obviously. But Guile came out first, and Guile just feels blah. I don't know what it is about Guile. I just don't think he's very funny. Some people, it's definitely like a case-by-case humor thing. Like, some people will find Guile funnier than others. But I think Guile is not funny. I think he is like definitely up there as like one of my least favorite characters in this original Law. I don't think he contributes nearly anything at all. He's just there. Now, that being said, in the Frollo Show, I think he's great. I think in the Frollo Show, Chin does a lot better with the character. It makes him very interesting. But in Law, I don't think. I think Balrog in the subspace is more interesting than Guile. And it makes me sad that we won't get more subspace, because I wanted to see more Guile and Eve and see how that would kind of like maybe improve my opinions on Guile, but it's not happening now, so I guess that's that. Bison? Okay. I think this character is he's neat. Like I know like Chin wants to remake his moveset, and some people are very interested in it. I kind of forget he's there sometimes. Like he's not a moveset I go back to like at all, like ever. I know he has like the thing where he like summons crates and he slides forward. He has a teleport. That's it. I don't really think much about him. Like he's in the roster. He feels like he's a character, all right. I think it would be funny if like whenever Chin does make the remake of this character, to kind of feel more like a Pyron, as we'll get to later. I hope he doesn't like go overboard with it. I think M. Bison has a lot. Someone said M. Bison has a lot more material to work with just by himself. I do think it would be funny if Balrog was still a part of it, because I know a lot of Balrog from the memes and such. So he has to stay there, obviously. But Balrog and M. Bison, I think just those two, that'd be fine if they got it. Maybe that'll give me more interest in the character. I don't know. But yeah. Eve. Oh gosh, I love Eve so much. I know Eve is one of those honorary Chin characters you don't really think about with this roster at all, and but she's not really ever used for like big splash screens or like the channel art or anything. But I feel like so many people consider Eve to be such a core character of Chin's work, if that makes sense. Like it's definitely like the Frollo show helping with that. And I've also like Eve is like my favorite RPG maker game in general. Next to like, I mean, it's not true. I love Rekinder way more. Rekinder holds a special place in my heart, but Eve is up there. Like I did a whole school report on Eve, like a dweeb I was. But I love Eve. It makes me glad that her source gets a lot more attention. And I am kind of sad that we still haven't gotten her classic mode. I want to see a classic mode still. And I want to see all the sprites that would be brought forward for it. I just want it so bad. I know Chin doesn't want to do it. I think Chin does not want to do it. But I just want to see more animations with this character and her new sprites. As I'm sure everyone else does too. We love Eve. We love Eve. All right, and here's another hot take. This character feels like the most spur of the moment addition to this roster. I feel like. I think this is like also common. This is also a very common opinion. People kind of forget Hank Hill was in this roster because Arlen was teased in Subspace, but never happened. It kind of just existed. And Hank Hill's moveset is also kind of just whatever. It's not like that crazy. It's kind of eh. And he has get twice in his like moves. It's such a weird case. I feel like maybe we got to see more of him. We wouldn't be as sour on the guy. But I don't think he's like bad. I think as time has gone on, I think it's more funnier once you like recognize he is such a weird pick in this roster that it gets funny. But like he's still not that great. I think like he needs a lot more attention from Chin if I want to like really think more about him. But other than that, like Also, Scantini sucks. I like them. Oh, gee, I fucking wonder why. It's fucking Scantini sucks. They're basically just better panty and stocking in every single conceivable way. You may be a little bit too much in some areas. They're a little bit bonkers, a little bit crazy. They're also really funny. Their moveset is cool. I like them. I think they're neat. I don't think we need to say much more about that. Honestly, I might even put them up in so good. I think they're. I think pretty. I don't really think about them very often, but I don't really think negatively about them either. All right, here's another fun one. Nick Cage. I think most people know. Also, like Shin said, he also wants to remake Nick Cage's moveset. I think Nick Cage might be like my second favorite character in this Lawl. He is so goofy. Like the Final Smash is definitely like up there. I want to do a tier list someday of all the Final Smashes honestly, and Nick Cage's would definitely be like up there next to Jameson's. Is so good. I think it's perfect. I think it's like such a good idea. But like but then like the rest of his moveset is just Wickerman, which is sure. He's also an anti-trap character, but it's also not that great of an anti-trap character because like Lawl is known for having a lot of traps because obviously you have so many weird gimmicks and such that trap characters kind of became super prevalent. So having a character that can just deal with it was really cool, and I think Chin thought he was way stronger than he actually is at some point too, but he's actually not that great. His side V with the bear is like such a dead move. It's so bad. It's like it exists. But that being said, I still like Nick Cage. I mean, I wouldn't put him up that high. And I'm only putting him here if he was like a main. If I do want to see Nick Cage get remade very soon. I love Nick Cage so much. I've never seen many of his movies, but I like the funny gags. Okay, right. Yeah, you know where he's going. These two are iconic. They are the moment. Vest Herc is so good. I mean, if we had to rank all the best characters, I think personally, I don't really care. I'm not as crazy about Best Herc as I am about Boris. He's funny, but I think I find Boris funnier personally. It's just a taste thing, obviously. Jamie Malsauer. So this is such a funny character in hindsight because I feel like more people know about Jamie Malsauer now than generally before. Like he was in Law like so many, like 10, 11, how many years before like the mummy incident happened. So we all kind of knew in the community who this guy is. I mean, it's very funny when everyone else is just kind of learning about who this guy is. I still think Chin has done a good job of making this guy seem like a good big old teddy bear. He's pretty funny. I like him a lot personally. I mean, I'm not crazy about him. I think his moveset is a little bit boring in some areas. Like he has like the neutral B that goes up and the down B that goes down. And like I would like to see more of Chin doing more with this character. I feel like now, especially now, you could probably give him even more to work with in terms of like attacks and stuff. I think that would be really interesting. All right, and give me like 1 second. Oh God, how do I pause? I just gotta like do something real quick. Just gonna tell someone. Stuff. Sorry about that. All right. Don Ramon. Honestly, this is another one of those characters that I don't think I've talked about it yet, but like Chin being Spanish, Spanish mix. I'm sorry, I'm so bad with like ethnicities and stuff. I'm very empty-headed. But this is like another reason why I think Law Original also took off is because it has all these weirdos, and then it just has like this ufologist from Mexico, and then like this just Don Ramon, also from Mexico, like from a TV show, a sitcom. And it's like this culture thing where you can just throw in characters like no one's heard of, like no one, like unless you're like Mexican or Spanish, you wouldn't know these characters, you wouldn't know who they were. But now we all learned who these characters were, and we got to like find out how charming these characters are ourselves. And we wouldn't have if Jin hadn't made moveset for these random two real life dudes. And I think that makes them so special in like their own special way. Because I encourage people to do all these other crazy ideas from different fandoms and like communities that you also probably wouldn't have heard of. Like, there's just so many random people where you would have never thought about, or probably wouldn't have gotten added if some guy like Don Ramon wasn't here. And he's like, this is still very early, obviously. This is when Law was still taking off. It was just a lot of YouTube characters at this point. So this kind of urged people to go out there, come up with some more stuff. and I think that's special. I think I'll put Don Ramon in So Good personally, just for that. Like Jay Mausan is like he was the first, but I think Don Ramon in my mind sticks out more as like that special character that really solidified what Law was about in a lot of ways. It wasn't just YouTube hoops. It wasn't just gag characters. It wasn't just like RPG Maker games of the time. It was a culture thing, and I think that's important. All right. Oh boy, people have a lot of this first string of 3 characters is going to be really rough. So Dr. Wily, a lot of people in the competitive community know Wily is so bad. He does not work. He's so slow. His grab is like Smash 4 Pac-Man levels of like laggy. It's not usable. It makes me feel bad because I think like this Wily is very funny, and it makes me hope that he gets more in the future, because he had that thing recently with Robonik and Jay Mausan, that little skit, Target Test. And it makes me hope we get to see more of them, because I want Dr. Wily to get more content. I think he needs more love. I think more than any character, I think he needs like a lot of updates to work. Like he has like something, he controls everything, but like his recovery is so bad, and like it's like something you kind of just have to think. You won't notice it if you watch the moveset once or twice. You have to think about it, like how this would work, and he's just not good, especially in like a law like this where there's so much crazy crap. And it makes me feel bad because I think he deserves better. But I hope, like, in the future we might see more of him. That being said, I think he's funny. I think he's good, and I would like to see more of him in the future, even if he's not personally my thing that much. I want him to be my thing, if that makes sense. Alright, here's another one that I know is... This is a character that you will have very different opinions about it, depending on if you're a fan of the source or if you aren't a fan of the source. I have a friend that despises this character. He thinks that like 2 of her moves are just completely made up, and he hates how this character is just not good. I think this character is just dealt a bad hand, personally, where Haruhi just like... she needs like a normal showcase. Like she had that one thing where like Chin showed off one smash attack and that was it. I think we need like all of her moves to be showcased with that kind of fire, because Chin clearly has a vision for her summoning the thing to attack and stuff, like the big godly entity thing. It has like that kind of vibe I get from I Am Mean and the King, where like there's an idea there, but whereas like I Mean and the King had like so much subspace material to work with, Haruhi didn't get that. Like she had like one where it was like Camp of Stars, I think, but she just kind of kicked a lot, and that was it. And it sucks because like I don't know much about the source, obviously, but I know people are passionate about this character, and I want to see this character be better personally. So. But even that, like she's like me. I don't think she's that bad. She's also like, no, because she also has a thing where her whole thing focuses on the hoarding mechanic, and I know like that's not bad. But I feel like because her moveset is so lopsided, it makes me like, maybe I don't know. It's such a complicated thing to talk about. Maybe like I'll go back to Haruhi and I'll think about it a bit more. As is, I'm not very passionate about her myself. Maybe it's just like not my thing. I feel like it's not more so just not my place to like speak on it. I'm just kind of here or there about it. Zoolander. I'm sorry. I feel like I would like this character. I feel like I need to watch his movie to like really appreciate this character, but I also know that he's not good either. He's Chin, what were you thinking? His fashion mechanic is so weird. It's such a weird mechanic, and Chin's come up with a lot of weird mechanics, But Zoolander's was like one of the first ones I think where people were like, this mechanic just does not work. I feel like he needs, like, if there was ever like Lawl original does not do update patches. Like, that's not really something they do. Other Lawls have done update patches. They've kind of adopted that stance of updating characters wholeheartedly, like resetting their, redoing their how they work and things, and because it's like a good way of bringing more attention to like content and characters. I think Zoolander is one of those characters that would really appreciate that. Like, a lot of his, like, he just feels very He's like, whatever. It's just like, especially since like he doesn't really give me like a desire to learn more about this character. He's just weird, and I feel like I need to have a reason to appreciate that weirdness, you know? Maybe like he'll get that someday in the future. Chin has used Zoolander again recently in one of his I think it was like Pyron or Weiss's moveset, I forget. But sorry, I'm a little bit sniffly. But yeah, like, I think he needs some help. This character. This is a funny character to talk about. Like, someone made the comment recently, like, he came out not long after, I mean, a little bit after, you know, the Best Turk. And I think, what was it, Chin said, someone said that Chin probably regrets making this character because he hasn't come up again since. Like, and he probably wants to make Arnold as a whole instead of just this guy. I don't know how I feel about that. Like, I think he would be cool to see Arnold. I would still like to see Arnold just himself. It's not like it's the first time it's happened in Law, I think. But I still like this character. I think he's goofy. Like, every time I go back to watching this moveset, it's weirdly competent. It works. It's creative. It actually makes sense. And it's unique. It's got a good feel to it. I like it. That being said, like, I think he's also another one of those characters you forget is in this roster sometimes. Like, you kind of have to like look at him carefully. Oh, this is a good character. I have a complicated feeling about Aya and Shin's works as a whole. I think even Shin seems to be very conflicted on how to use Aya as a character. Like, in the moveset, he said that, you know, my father has a very little of moveset ideas and just a lot of Final Smash ideas, which I can see it. But I don't know, man. Like, I don't think Aya's barely used anything. And I was hoping Drevis Mansion would come out to give me, like, I want to see Chin actually do something with this character so badly. Because at first she had, like, the very tiny sprites, right? Like, she was very tiny before. And then in Mary's moveset, when it came out, she got full body art. And it makes me want to see him animate Aya and do all those crazy chainsaw flips he had her do with the tiny spray. It's probably not going to happen realistically. I think that's so much work for this little game. But I would like to see it personally. I think Aya is another character I want to see normals for. I don't want to see, because like Eve turned out great in the few normals we did see. I want to see the same for Aya. But yeah, she's also kind of broken, I think. Some people say she's kind of crazy. She would probably need balance changes in something if she was ever added. But it's as expected. Like, she is an RPG Maker girl. She's gonna be wild. She's gonna be crazy. I think she's funny. I'm not as invested in her as I am Eve, but I think she's still important. I want to see more. If she would definitely skyrocket if Drevis Mansion does come out. Nick Chen has said it might, even if it's kind of scrapped, to be finished as a whole, just like what he has finished. Dreo. This is a funny character because I remember when I first joined this community, I forgot this character is even like a big thing. I wasn't like I was always vaguely observe like movesets in subspace when every new bit released, but I was like, I never really was very passionate about like going in the comments section and you're jumping into the community discussion and stuff. So I don't know like how much people talked about these characters, but apparently Trejo was like very like negatively received or something like that, which is wild to me in hindsight because I think his moveset is actually better than Mausong's. I think he's really good, and I think it's clear that Shin like that. The hate is gone in this one because Chin has started using Trejo a lot more, which is good. I love Trejo. I think Trejo is such a cool character with a lot of personality. He's not just like old dude, even though his kind of have his animations changed to be more old. I do think his run sprite that Shin did in the Blur showcase was a little, it was a little goofy, it was a little silly, but like it's fine. Like I'm happy Trejo's here. He's another one of those like Spanish characters that I think deserves to be here. He adds a lot of flair. He's like Don Ramon in that aspect. Weird Al. This is a funny character. So, fun fact, for the longest time, I had no clue who Weird Al is. I am very, like, I'm not very in tune with culture and, like, stuff and, like, all that. Like, I knew, I'm not good at remembering artist names in general. So, Weird Al was, like, my first exposure to him. And for the longest time, I didn't know what a lot of his references were, and I still really don't. But I think Weird Al is one of the coolest characters ever added to this roster. I think it shows just so much in how like Shin has animated this guy, how much love he gets. His new idol where he's using the accordion is great. His moveset is so interesting. Like when you get down to the nitty gritty of how it works, it's so cool. Like Ida drops a food item that can interrupt your attacks if you're next to it, because obviously it's just like when you press the A button, like you're obviously gonna eat an item if it's next to you. It's a good way to interrupt something, and it also slows you down. Like it helps, but it also heals you. It's so weird. And then he has like the bus thing, which is like one giant like suction point that you could put on a ledge. And it's so good. It's like, I think the only thing I don't like about it is the Rambo thing. I think like the Rambo is a little bit weird. But again, I don't know much about this character. Like this is not a character I'm very knowledgeable about. So I don't think I can complain about like stuff like that. I like him. I think he's great. I always see more of him. J. Jonah Jameson. So fun fact, for the longest time, this was like one of my favorite movesets as well in All Original. I did not know for the longest time that his side B was a Portal reference, because I've never played Portal and I still haven't. My friend got me the games. I probably should at some point. But J. Jonah Jameson is such a weird character to talk about. I feel like he was the first instance of a boss character, which is a playstyle that Shin personally made up, where a character commands another character to do things via their moveset, incentivizes them to play a certain way while they benefit from it. And you can tell this was like a little bit rough. This was like the era before Shin revamped like everything animation wise and style wise, and this is a very high concept thing to do. And I think people at this point have kind of accepted that Jameson was a failure in that aspect. Like his moveset does not really work that well conceptually. Like it would need a lot of update patterns. I think that's something that a lot of more competitive people would have to coordinate with Shin for to talk about. But I think Jameson is still great. I think Jameson's one of the better characters ever done for Law. It's just like he was such a good idea in general. Like it was something we needed. And I think that his final smash is like, I didn't even know that wasn't Jameson. I literally just found that out yesterday. That was not Jameson. That was like, because there's so many animated Spider-Man TV shows. I just assumed. So, I know he's not a good character. He needs a lot of work. And I think he got a new idol recently for one of his alts from the newer Marvel movies. I think it was in the Madatsuki Smash Attack showcase. And I personally think the idol looks so bad. I'm sorry. I mean, it's kind of mean to say. I think Jameson had better idols. And I think he's just like the regular Sam Raimi Spider-Man look. It's just better. Just stick with that. But even then, I'm going to put him in so good. It's probably like he doesn't deserve to be this high, but he's so important to Law as a whole. I think he deserves to be up here. And Mary's Mary. This is when Shin started really ramping up. I feel like everyone was expecting so much crazy stuff to happen around this time. There were so many polls. The new UI was great. I think this era of UI is better than the current Ultimate UI that Shin is using. I think he did something unique for it. It was like Smash 4-esque, but also unique. It was nice. It was cool. And Mary kind of exemplifies it because like he's never gone back and changed Mary's sprites at all. And I hope he doesn't. I think Mary is so well made. Mary's perfect. I think probably like just as good as Eve, honestly, if not more so. I think Mary was just all around smash it. And then Kodak Snake. So it was a funny trend where every single like this is like a good way to kind of cap out the end of an era, basically, because every single this was like back when every single character obviously had like a realistic snake codec sequence, and Chin would sentence mix all of it. And it's well known that Chin sentence mixing is kind of goofy. It doesn't work all the time, but I think that's the charm of it. It's not perfect. It's silly, and I like it. I love it a lot. And Kodak Snake just brings that in, and then he's just good on top of that. Like, he's funny. He has a lot of cool interactions with the cast. His gimmick is actually really interesting. I think it's so interesting. Like, just being able to, like, get individual, like, points to use his projectiles. And it works in, like, multiplayer matches. It works in single-player matches. They're all colored differently. Depending on special move, it's a different amount. Like, it's clear Chen had an idea for this character. And I think that's so awesome that he could just... This is such a unique, original character, but it's, like, it makes sense. It's good. And I think he deserves to be up here, too. I like him a lot. Jeev. This is like the big return Chin did, and then he vanished again. For like, because as you can see, this is like 82, and this is like 218. Like Chin really ramped up, and then he just kind of stopped for a bit. He wanted to focus on the Frollo show, and I respect that. Sheev is pretty good. I like Sheev a lot. I think he does the boss gimmick way better than Jameson, actually. I think that's kind of been accepted. That's why Jameson has kind of aged so bad for a lot of people, because Sheev is just so much better. Like, Sheev is great. Like he does such a good job of, like, doing prequel memes and bossing people around and applying debuffs. And all the debuffs are funny. There's so many, like, jokes and references. Shin had a lot of fun with this character. I think the one thing people get hung up on is, like, the up B, where he has, like, a little bit too much going on. Like, it's the General Grievous thing. It's like, oh, try spinning. That's a good trick. Like, I think that's funny. I think that's good. It's clear like he wanted to fit as much in as possible into this character. And it's got a little bit bloated in some places, but I don't mind it. I think he does the boss play style so good. And Weiss is funny. I think a lot of people, there were some people that thought 2V was happening. I'm like, you guys are very funny. If you think Chin's doing 2V, that is not a Chin thing to do. That's like a cheesy bastard thing to do. That's not like a Chin thing. I personally thought he was going to do Yoko Taro himself, just because I think that's like more of a Chin thing. But I was close. I got the book. The book is good. It's funny because I remember since Chin came back, this was like after another huge break too. That's crazy. Like that we kind of start really slowing down now. But Weiss had a funny history where he had a problem where he was so complicated. Like I think this is the point where I feel bad for Chin. Because like he came back with this moveset. And it was so complicated. And I think, like, after everything else that happened, people weren't ready for another super complicated moveset. Which is sad. Because I think when Chin is doing complicated stuff, he has a lot of stuff. I don't know. Like, I would say that's when he's at his best. But there's also a lot of simple but good characters in the start, too. I think it would have been better if Pyron came before Weiss. That would have smoothed things over a lot better. Because obviously people were waiting for Pyron as well. But it's funny because Weiss is so complicated. But then, like, a video when Pyron came out, we saw his normals were ginormous. So you can just ignore his gimmick entirely if you ever played him. Which he does so much damage. He's so ranged. I feel bad. Like. He's so... I think he was just a bad time for Weiss. Personally, I like him. I think I think, I'll put this back down here because like I don't want to put. I would put Weiss above Painting and Stalking personally. Like he's not great. Like I think that after the normals came out, and now I'm just like, oh, he's just broken. Okay. That being said, I think Nier is such a perfect fit for this Law in general. It's got a very Chin vibe to it. It's very dystopian. It has that weird Neon Genesis Evangelion feel that Chin vibes with a lot, I've noticed. And I think Nier is so perfect. I wouldn't even be mad if we got another Nier character added to this all. I think it fits perfectly. But I don't know. Weiss didn't seem... I mean, he still uses Weiss in lots of things, so I hope we do see more of him in general, but who knows. Pyron. If Weiss's release probably worried a lot of people, Pyron was the signaling call to tell everyone that, yeah, I'm back. Chin is back. Pyron is such a good moveset. Like, I don't think I can even go into depth, like, how great Pyron is. Like, I think even Chin... I don't even think Chin knows how good of a job this character did. Like, he made a joke in the moveset. I think, oh, he's like Pyron's such a barely cared about character from a show that that even less people know about. Like, he's again another one of those niche characters you wouldn't think about. Like, one of those, like, Spanish reps. You don't think about this character. You don't think about, like, the Zoolander. You don't think about, like, the new Herc. But Pyron is so good. He has such a good moveset. He's animated really well, actually. Like, people were back and forth on Chin's new animation style, but Pyron works so well with it. And his gimmick with computer is simple, but it's nice. Like, he gets faster if he has computer. He can summon Morrigan and Dimitri. It's so good. It's crazy how good this character is for when you think about, like, he wasn't really something that people were crazy about at first, but now he just feels like he deserves to be here. And I guess to end this off, since we're done with all original, this roster is so... I think it's more top-heavy than bad. I think there's so many good characters here that are so special, so great. And it makes me hope that Chin doesn't stop with Law anytime soon. I think Smash Bros. Law is... Pyron was proof that Chin can do simple characters well, and I hope we see more of that out. And I hope, like, the new characters that come out, like Brent and God, I forget their names at the moment. I hope those other characters, like Mefs and Fegs as well. Ricky Gervais, Ricky Gervais, that's the name. I hope Chin does a good job with them. I am very excited to see what Chin does in the future. And I just hope that he doesn't stop because he got some bad reception on Weiss or Subspace. Because we love Chin stuff. Chin is so important to this community. And I think because it's been so long, new community figures have kind of popped up that have done so much more in the time frame that Chin has. But I think we all still mutually respect Chin. I think he's great. Just because we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Chin. And I would be sad if Chin stopped making more movesets. I think we all want to see more of what he can do. But yeah, I'm probably gonna end it here. I think I will do more of these. I like talking about these characters, and I want to talk more about other rosters that probably haven't really been discussed in depth in this list before. But we'll see. I'm gonna end it here. Thank you for watching. I know I'm kind of rambling. I'm a little stuffy. This is my first time I've ever really done this, but I hope people like it. Alright, I'll see y'all. Bye-bye.